Hey everybody, today is December 29th, and today we're talking about the stock market. Today's been a great day and really a great week so far. The S&P 500, of course, made new all-time highs recently, and of course today the Dow Jones also made new all-time high. Now the market's going to close very soon, so I'm not completely sure if the Dow Jones is going to be able to close at new all-time highs, but we definitely did make an intraday high, new all-time high. Before we begin, please read the disclaimer and you can pause this video as you read it. Okay. So yeah, things have been looking really good. You know, we had a nice bounce. We talked about last week how we had a nice bounce off the 100-day moving average, and we filled two gaps, right? We filled two down gaps over here, and ever since we filled the two down gaps, we basically just ripped higher, like pretty much straight up. And now we're consolidating a little bit, and but we're still looking very good. You know, we've broken out of this ascending triangle pattern, and yeah, things are just looking really good heading into the new year. And oh, by the way, and this will likely be my last video of the year, so happy new year to everybody, and I hope you all had a great holiday season with your friends and family. Well, our next video will be next year in January, so yeah, I wish you all a happy new year. Okay, so let's look at some of the fundamentals. Of course, nothing has really changed since our last video on Monday. There's still optimism over the Omicron variant not being as bad as people thought it would be back in November, and of course optimism over the new year. Right, this year's over, and so people they've sold some stock, they reallocated, and now they are looking forward to seeing what the new year has to offer. Right, some of the bearish fundamentals could be anticipation of tapering, right, and also rate hikes. The market is pricing in 3 possible rate hikes for 2022 and another 3 rate hikes for 2023. So that could bring a slowdown to earnings potentially for some companies, and put a bit of a ceiling on how fast the market can go up, right? Some of the technicals. Of course, we just talked about how the Dow and the S&P have reached new all-time highs, but the Nasdaq is still catching up, right? The Nasdaq is very close, but it's still below the all-time highs. But things are looking very good overall, right? Oscillators are neutral to bullish. They're not yet overbought yet, right? On the S&P, MACD is positive, heading higher. So no signs of overbought yet, right? VIX is below 30, which is great. You know, lower volatility generally will lead to a nicer sustained uptrend in the stock market. And yeah, we talked about how we had this solid green candle, and I predicted in a video last week that we would basically reverse down. So that's exactly what's been happening, right? So we do want to see the VIX continue down, ideally below 15. Low volatility tends to coincide with a nice sustainable rise in the stock market, right? Fear and greed index is currently at greed, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because even though the stock market has been going up all year, we've actually been around this fear level for a while, right? But now that we're seeing a nice bounce, that means that investors have more confidence. And my whole thing is, like, I believe that this whole year, like, there's been a lot of money on the sidelines, as people are still worried about any of the ramifications of new variants, possible lockdowns, and how that might affect supply chain, and also inflation fears that might affect the way the Federal Reserve responds, and how that might affect the performance of the market going into next year. So there's been quite a bit of fear, right? Even though the stock market has been rising all year, but now that people are starting to become more optimistic, I think we're going to see more money coming in next year, which will give the stock market more fuel to go up even higher and make new all-time highs into 2022, right? So yeah, so something I want to talk about is that even though stocks are doing very well and nowhere really near in the macro term overbought yet, at least according to our oscillators, our indicators, right? There is still a possibility that we'll have a short-term pullback, at least to the silver line, the 50-day simple moving average, right? If we look at the stock market performance this year, right? This is 2022 January. We saw that we pulled back many times to the silver line, right? This is our short-term moving average, right? We pulled back many times, and even had a pullback to our midterm moving average back in September and of course November of this year, and of course we bounced off last week. And so it's not out of the ordinary that we might see a pullback, a healthy dip, right, down to the 50-day moving average here. Maybe within the next week or two. usually when we see this many consecutive green days in a row, and especially if we look at like the Dow has had like today will likely close 6 consecutive green candles in a row, right? And usually when we have that many green candles in a row, the market will, there's gonna be people taking some profits and people who are excited to, potentially short the market, right? And so it's not out of the ordinary to see the market pull back once in a while in a healthy uptrend, right? We don't want this thing to go parabolic, because then you're gonna have like massive short sellers that might crash the market and give us an even bigger pullback, right? So, a nice sustained uptrend with pullbacks along the way is very healthy, and that's something I'm looking forward to as a potential buying the dip opportunity within the next week or two, right? Perhaps as early as next week. It does seem like the market is sort of stalling around. See, we have these kind of doji candles. It does seem like the market is starting to stall out a bit, and we might see a pullback. But that's nothing to be scared about. Just something that we want to anticipate going forward. If you guys have some money on the sidelines, it could be a good buying opportunity. Of course, this is not financial advice. This is just for informative and entertainment purposes only. But yeah, things are looking very good. The market is very optimistic. S&P Dow just reached all-time highs this month, and the Nasdaq is going to catch up and will likely make all-time highs within the next week or two. But also keep in mind that stocks are overbought a bit in the short term, right? We've gone up a lot, consecutive green candles in a day. So don't be afraid or alarmed if we do see a bit of a pullback. To take us back down to the 50-day moving average, that would be on the S&P 500. About a 2 to 3% pullback, right? So we see a 2 to 3% pullback. Don't be scared. If the S&P 500 does follow what we've seen over the past year, we should be able to hold the 50-day as support, right? So that's something we'll be looking forward to going into the new year. And again, I just want to say that it's gonna be the last video of the year, and I hope you guys all had a great year, a great holiday with your friends and family. We'll start the new year January 3rd probably with a new video for the new year, and we'll see how the market reacts going forward. If it's gonna pull back or if it's just gonna go. If it's going to continue going higher, perhaps like this, right? Just continue ripping higher, because it's possible that there's a lot of optimism going to New Year, but we'll see and update you guys as the market develops going forward. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like the video, leave a comment below, and subscribe for updates. Appreciate all your support. Thank you again, and have a great day.